Hello to everyone. Thank you all for joining me at this time. My name is Shavi Zane, and I'm coming on to bring a message for you all in regards to a dream that I had. So first of all, I want to say it's been quite a while since I've posted a video, largely because my oldest daughter had her birthday, so I got a chance to celebrate my daughter's birthday with most of the people that I love, and it was a wonderful time that we spent together. And then also I ended up catching this cold, so if I sound a little congested, it's because I am. So you have to excuse me with that, but I didn't want to allow too much more time to lapse before I came forward to bring this message to you all. And so this may resonate with you right now. It may resonate with you in the future, or it may be past energy for some of you. But regardless of where you are in your journey, this may bring some more clarity to you. So let me start off with a dream that I had. It's a little bit lengthy, but I want to go ahead and get right into it. So I happened to be staying at a house where there was a large group of people. And it seemed like it was just many different people from different walks of life, but it was mostly melanated people that were staying in this house. Now, of course, I stood out like a sore thumb because I was different from everybody else that was there. That's the story of my life, okay? So it was one of those things where I was not able to interact with them. So I was more of a spectator in this home, even though I was staying there. It was like we was roommates. And one of the women, apparently she was dealing with some alcohol issues. She was an alcoholic, and she was having some issues with her boyfriend at the time. She found out he was cheating on her. So she gathered up many of the other women who was staying in this house with us, and they all went outside. She found his car, and she began picking up these huge boulders. Her and all of these women, I'm talking about, these boulders was huge, and they were heavy. And it's like she had superhuman strength, and she started throwing these boulders. All of these women was throwing these boulders at this car, the car of the man who had been cheating on her. And so the car ended up completely, it looked like it was totaled by a semi. That's how much damage they did to this car. And so they threw the boulders, and it almost hit my head. I had to duck. At that point, I knew it was time for me to get up out this house. So that's what I did. Myself, and there was another male who stayed in the house, who we decided, okay, let's just go and try to find somewhere else because this is not working. Neither one of us fit in with the people that we was living with. So obviously we had that common, we had that in common, okay? So we started taking this journey, and we ended up we stumbled upon a group of people. They was mostly European. And they was all sitting around, and they was having this discussion. So we decided to listen in, because what attracted us was that they were speaking about like metaphysics, okay? They were speaking about energy and things of that nature. And so, we was kind of drawn in because it was like, okay, they're more speaking our language. But I later found out that that was not the case. So yes, we were sitting around, they were speaking this language of metaphysics and things like that. So it was interesting to us. And one of the women, she said, yes, I know of a group of people who ended up enslaving a melanated man. She said a black man. And she was like, they took him and they enslaved him because they knew that he possessed a lot of powers. And she said now he is currently the warlock of that group. They have enslaved him, and they use his powers as the warlock of the group. So, okay, me and the man who was sitting there, we telepathically began to communicate with each other. He looked at me, I looked at him, and what he said to me telepathically was, when I count down to 1, I'm going to count 3, 2, 1, get up and run. So he did 3, 2, 1, and we took off. I'm talking about, we ran so fast, it was like within 2.5 seconds, we was miles and miles ahead of these people. Now, obviously, we picked up on something because they started chasing us as a result of us running. So apparently they wanted to take our energy. We picked up on it intuitively. We took off running. So we ended up at a club, some sort of club, okay? And it was a lot of people standing in this line. All groups, okay, all ethnicities. Well, actually, it was everybody except for melanated people. We was the only 2 people that was melanated in the group. And this is the reason why, is because when we got up to the front, the person who was actually letting people in, he looked into the line and he pointed us. There was a melanated man who was allowing people to come in. I guess he was checking them before they came in. And so he pointed us out. He said, I want you and you. He called us over and he said, the two of you have to go to the back in order to enter. So I was like, okay. We walked around to the back, and when we got there, there was another melanated man standing at the door, and he said, do you smoke or drink? He asked both of us, do you smoke or drink? I said no. The man who was with me said yes. So they sent him to another part of the club, and they sent me all the way up to the top of this club. And that's when I was joined by, it was very few people that was in this part, very, very few people at the top in this special section. They called it the MVP section. And I guess that's called most valuable player, but that's what they called it in the dream. And everybody that was there was illuminated with the rainbow colors around them. Now, some of y'all might say, well, rainbow colors, what is it? No, this is not that, okay? The rainbow colors, I feel like it was to represent their aura, the energy that they was projecting out into the universe. Because mind you, this person, and that's the end of the dream, okay? I ended up joining these people, and we all had the same energy that we was projecting. And so this is why we was all invited into this specific area. So I feel like this dream is saying, it's many messages in this dream. So I know it's going to come to me in another message moving ahead, what this is about. But I feel like for you all right now, this is showing you that you're really being separated, like broken down to the details, okay? Like very detailed type of separation that's happening for the collective. You might have found that, okay, that group of people that you used to be amongst, who you never really fit in with, but you might have tried to fit in with them. You're starting to see their low vibrational energy so much that it's like, okay, I'm out of there. I can't deal with this type of drama anymore. So you release yourself from that. Because I'm telling y'all, those people who have not done the work to heal at this time, if they was already low vibrational, it's getting worse, okay? Their emotions are heightened. They don't know what to do in order to alchemize the energy. They have no divine connection. They have no spiritual connection. They're just lost in the sauce, and they are taking all of that energy out, and they're projecting it through anger, through outbursts, through outrage, through, you know what I mean, all types of things, okay? And so those people naturally you separate from, okay? There's no attraction to those people. So that's what happened initially when I was in this house with these women. And men too, but then I ended up connecting with one person who we seemed to have that common theme. We had that commonality. Both of us was repelled by very low vibrational energy. So we took this journey together, but then we ended up meeting up with people who seemed like they spoke the language that we was familiar with. It brought us, it sparked an interest in us, but behind the language, they had a different agenda. And the agenda was to siphon the energy of those of us, specifically though in this dream. It said melanated people, the energy was being siphoned to be used for these European communities and taking our energy and making us their warlocks, okay? And enslaving though, under enslavement, making you the warlock to help them in their group, okay? Because the world is changing, and so they're needing to take the energy of people who have awakened and who understand the power that they possess, but they're using it in a very dark manner. So when they enslave this person, obviously they will take his energy and have him utilize it in a way that only benefits them. It doesn't benefit himself, and it doesn't benefit his community. It only benefits them. So that's the whole purpose of enslavement. So that's why this man and myself, we picked up on that right away. And again, telepathic communication happened. So this is the energy where things are shifting so much that we're even able to tap in. Our intuitions is becoming that much more amplified. The ability to communicate telepathically and to be able to pick up on other people's intentions is becoming that much more amplified. And so it's to the degree where if you see a spirit on somebody, you can't unsee it, okay? When it's made clear and apparent to you, you want to listen to your intuition and take flight at that moment. So that's what we did. We didn't waste any time after we got to see the true nature of this group of people that we ended up walking into, in hopes that we had kind of found our tribe, so to speak. So after we took off, it led us to this building, which I think it was a club. It seemed like it was a club. And myself and this person who had so much in common and took this journey together ended up separating at that point. So there was multiple separations that was happening in this dream. So this can mean for you all, you're going through multiple separations in many different areas of your life, okay? And it comes down to the bare minimum, where either the person is going to take the path of stepping into their divinity, closing out old chapters, releasing themselves from their carnal nature, removing themselves from this, being in their ego or being in these pleasure-seeking behaviors. Because like I said, it came down to myself and this man who the question was asked, do either of you smoke or drink? When I said yes, it was automatic that I went to the top. When he said when I said no, it was automatic that I went to the top. When he said yes, I don't know where he was sent, but it wasn't to the top. And so I feel like even if you're surrounded by people who are awakening, they are healing, they are recognizing that it's important for them to take a different path, but they still have one foot in and one foot out. There's going to ultimately be a separation even between yourself and those types of people. And so you might say, well, goodness, I already let go of enough people. Is it just going to end up being just me? Well, I would have to say no, because what ended up happening for me is that I was sent alone to go to the top. But when I got there, I met with others who was just like me. Okay, and who had also made the decision to take the road less traveled and to go up in levels, because I was sent to the top of this building, which was called MVP, most valuable player. It would indicate that that's that elevation, continuing to elevate and being rewarded as a result of it. So just know that taking this narrow path is not for the weak at heart. Okay, this is not a path where you are walking in and you have one foot in and one foot out. No, you got to be all in this thing. And if you're not, you're going to find that you will be set aside with those people who are also treading the fence, or set aside with those people who are just not doing the work at all. Only you know where you stand right now in terms of your spiritual journey. But I tell you all the time, we are in the age of Aquarius, the time of where things can no longer be hidden. We are in the time of